What's up everybody, my name is Rude Dinosaur and welcome to my new channel, Wowhead Recap. This will be my first video on this channel and the goal is to go through the Wowhead Blue Tracker posts and just give a quick video going through all of the changes that are happening in World of Warcraft. I would love your feedback on this video, and if this is something you would like to continue to see, please let me know in the comments down below and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. With that being said, let's go through the Wowhead recap for September 29th, 2020. Our first one we have here is PTR Stress Test on September 30th at 12 o'clock noon and 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. The World of Warcraft server team needs your help. Please join us on the PTR realms tomorrow, Wednesday, September 30th at 12 noon and 7 o'clock Pacific time. For a stress test, we've implemented some behind-the-scenes server updates in the Shadowlands expansion, and we're looking to bring as many testers as possible onto these realms. While the changes being tested will not be highly visible to you, they are quite meaningful in our game services. The Shadowlands beta is already running these changes, and we've had success testing them there, but never with an extremely high number of testers on a single realm, and we'd like to see. The format of this test will be straightforward. Please log on to I guess I'll try to pronounce these. Anasterian and Benedictus PTR realms, create a character, and then enter the game and play however you like for as much time as you can spare us. We expect that we'll be done with our data gathering after about 20 to 30 minutes. Due to the potentially extremely high load this will place on game service, we recommend that you create a copy of a character ahead of time. It is possible that the realm will crash, and it is also possible that we'll disconnect players a few times to generate more load spikes. Please re-enter the game on your chosen character if you're disconnected. So pretty much what they're trying to do here is exactly what it says. As Shadowlands gets closer, they're trying to start doing stress tests on the realms to see how all of the new systems and everything are going to affect the servers ahead of launch. Pretty straightforward on that one. Let's go on to the next one. In Remembrance, the Harvest Festival has begun. Anybody that has played the game for a long time knows what this one is about. The yearly Harvest Festival is now underway in Azeroth. Fallen heroes of the Alliance and the Horde are paid homage during this time of remembrance. And actually I opened up we can go and you can actually read what the Harvest Festival kind of is. The yearly Harvest Festival is now underway in Azeroth. This is a solemn time where the Alliance honors Uther the Lightbringer by lighting a candle at his tomb in the Western Plaguelands, while members of the Horde show their respect to Grandmosh Hellscream by leaving a bottle of spirits at the base of Hellscream Memorial in Demon Fall Canyon in Ashenvale. This is running from today, September 29th, until October 6th, outside of Ironforge and Orgrimmar. Commemorate those who have sacrificed their lives to help friends and allies. Feasts are also held outside Ironforge and Orgrimmar in honor of these fallen heroes. So this is just the yearly event, yearly Harvest Festival. Go. I know there's all sorts of different types of cool rewards and everything that you can get. Just another little in-game thing. Next post only applies to those lucky ones who have beta, of which I am not one, but that's okay. Shadowlands beta character wipes this week. Later this week, when we take the Shadowlands beta offline for its weekly update, all test characters will be removed from the Shadowlands beta realms. Over recent weeks, many of the bugs we've received are related to player characters getting stuck into a broken state due to changes in questlines or covenant flow. These are not bugs that could occur in a live environment, and they often mask other issues that we still need to identify and fix. When the Shadowlands beta resumes public availability, testers will want to copy or create new characters in order to resume testing. Thereafter, on test realms, you'll find that Renown with all covenants will be set back to its initial Week 1 state. Please note that there will be two options for the template test characters. On the Maw and Oribos realms, you'll find a character copy and a level 50 template for testing the initial experience. On the Torghast realm, there will be level 60 character templates and vendors that support PvP, dungeon, and raid testing. This will skip the Shadowlands level up content and put that character right before their Covenant choice. You know, the meaningful choice we all get to make. As in previous weeks, we're targeting late Wednesday morning for the time we'll take the beta realms offline to do maintenance. Remove all characters and update the build. Thank you to all beta testers. Again, this one's pretty straightforward. Just a whole bunch of characters are getting bugs in beta, it seems like, and they just need to kind of wipe everything clean, get everything back so it's more of a live type testing realm, so that they can get everything supposedly fixed before launch. Here's another thing of just stuff that's going away with the way that they're redoing Shadowlands. Some Warlords of Draenor armor sets and weapons will be unobtainable in Shadowlands. So we go down here. Some WoD crafted armor sets and weapons will be unobtainable in Shadowlands due to the profession revamp and level squish coming in Shadowlands. Some WoD crafted armor sets will no longer be obtainable. And there was an edit from Blizzard reply to the concerns. This must be a bug, right? Removing old gear, stuff that is locked behind daily CDs with this short notice is beyond cruel. As of now, we have a blue answer to this, and I hope this is 100% true and will be implemented sooner or later. Thank you everyone for bringing attention to the issue and voicing your opinions. Yes, this is a side effect of Shadowlands development. We already have plans to reintroduce all of the transmogs in a future patch, so they'll only be unobtainable temporarily. So, this one really no need to bring any harm or any fear. When Shadowlands launches, might not be able to get some of those WoD transmogs you're going for, but they will be coming back at a later patch. And now, here is the big news for the day. We're getting closer and closer to just being able to swap things, and I do believe it will come at a future time, but here's the big news for the day. Shadowlands Conduit updates. Starting next week in the Shadowlands beta, we'll begin introducing a series of updates to the soulbind system to add a persistent collection system for conduits. Since the soulbind system was unveiled in the alpha and discussed in our developer updates, we've heard consistent feedback about the shortcomings of an inventory-based destructible version of conduits, and we agree entirely. While we feel it's important that there be some friction in moving conduits around, the prospect of having to re-earn a given conduit, perhaps by chasing a specific dungeon or raid boss drop, was not particularly appealing to anyone. However, simply removing destructibility without making other changes would have created an inventory management nightmare, especially for players who enjoy playing multiple specs. So pretty much, if you weren't aware of what this is pertaining to, the big thing in Shadowlands is picking a covenant, and within that covenant there are soulbinds, which are essentially like mini specializations within each character, and then in there you get these conduits, and conduits have different powers, different things you go up and down the tree, and you place these in there, and then they give you additional powers, and also there's a main power for each soulbind at the bottom. And how they were working before is you had to earn them through various forms of content, and anytime you wanted to change them, say if you were multi-speccing, if you were doing anything like that, it got completely destroyed, and you would have to go and farm another one. So, let's see what changes they're making. Once this new system is in place, conduits will work like this. Conduits will continue to be an item that can be earned from a wide variety of endgame content, dungeons, PvP raids, reputations, world quests, etc. The power of their effects will increase with the item level of the conduit. Instead of placing a conduit directly into a given soulbind tree, you'll bring it back to your sanctum where you can add it to a permanent collection. There will be more than one source for most conduits to increase flexibility in acquisition and accessibility across different playstyles. Earning a more powerful version of a conduit you already have will simply upgrade that conduit in your collection. So pretty much, to me, what this is sounding like is, drumroll please, essences. So they're finally making it so that you don't have to keep 100 of these conduits in your bag, so that every time you want to swap into a different spec, you have to sit here, destroy it, re-put it in. They're finally making them just like how essences worked, where you just add it to the collection once you earn it once, and anytime you want to change it around, you can just now update it the way that we wanted it from the beginning. But let's keep reading and see if there's a catch to it. At its core, the soulbind system aims to give you the freedom to essentially build your own talent tree for yourself. Each soulbind offers a range of fixed universal traits closely themed to that soulbind's nature, and there are many open slots throughout the tree that effectively serve as wildcards, allowing you to insert conduits to customize each soulbind to suit your playstyle and preference. A given conduit can only be used once per soulbind, though the same conduit can be added to different soulbind trees without restriction. This does not require earning more than one copy of the conduit now. Once it's in your collection, you can place it as you wish. If you want to rebuild your soulbind trees, once per week, you'll be able to clear all of the conduits with a separate cooldown per soulbind. But once you've decided on your desired conduit placement, we want to ensure that the system offers as much flexibility as other existing talent systems. So you'll be able to switch which soulbind is active or redirect the flow of anima through a soulbind's tree, essentially respecking them anytime you visit your sanctum. And if you have a different soulbind per spec or a different active trait path within a given soulbind, that will be saved on a per spec basis and will automatically change whenever you change specs. That is huge. So if anybody's been paying attention to what any of the streamers have been having to say about soulbinds, it makes multi-specking an absolute nightmare. And one of them was because of how this soulbind system worked. Being able to only change it once per week, and before it wasn't once per week per spec, it was just once per week. So you had to hope that you could, if you wanted to play tank, healer, and DPS, not only did you have to find a covenant that was good for all three of those, you also had to hope that there were soulbinds in the 3 different choices that you get per covenant that would fit all 3 of those specs. So now you can change, the way I'm reading this is that you can change your conduits as much as you want to within each soulbind tree. However, there's a path, kind of like the old style of making your talents back in Classic. That specific path you can only change once per week. However, you can change which conduits you place in each slot in that path freely. And now as you change specs, it'll automatically change for you. You don't have to go through and redo it every single time. This is big news. This is a big step in the right direction. And I'm really glad to hear that they're finally meeting us at least halfway with what we wanted to do with these conduits. This is a huge thing. Now the last thing we have to hope for is eventually being able to swap our covenants more freely, so that if you have a spec where, say, Venthyr is the really only good spec for you in, say, healing, but you want to play a tank and Venthyr is horrible for your tank spec, so you want to be, say, Necrolord for that. But with each update that they're releasing, we're getting closer and closer. This is very welcome news for me. Hopefully it's very welcome news for you. That is the end of this video for today's Wowhead recap. Again, this is my first video on this channel. Sorry if it got a little scuffed. I'm still, trying to figure out exactly how I want this to flow. I would appreciate greatly any sort of feedback you have down in the comment section below. If you could like and subscribe to the channel if you do like it, that would also be greatly appreciated, trying to get this channel up and running. And I will be back tomorrow with another recap. This is Rude Dinosaur again. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time.